One-year reign of VE Day. The Travers winner set to come to a close this coming Saturday when we run the 146th running of the Travers. And, of course, the winner's silks will be commemorated in that infield canoe over the next year. Richard Migliore, Jason Blewitt, glad you're with us here on this Thursday edition of Saratoga Insider. A couple days out from the big day. It is really time to get tied on.
Well, it's really amping up here. You can feel the excitement level building, and every American Pharoah sighting, anything he does, there are thousands of eyes upon him, and he came over to the paddock today.
When he moves, it's news. When he does anything, it's news. And, of course, they packed the paddock today. There's a look at your Triple Crown champion, American Pharoah, who toured the surroundings of the old spa. The fourth Triple Crown winner that will compete in Saturday's Travers Stakes. And there he is, his usual cool, calm, and collected self. He really is a Californian.
He's unbelievable, though. Anywhere he goes, though, he seems to instantly feel comfortable in his surroundings. He walked around the paddock at Saratoga as though he owned the joint, and this is the first time this horse has ever seen this place. He's got a remarkable disposition to go along with incredible talent.
It's the Constitution. He's 1-5 on the line here, facing 9 brave 3-year-olds in Saturday's $1.6 million Travers. That goes as race 11 of 13. We'll have that early first post of 11:45 a.m. and certainly more on the big Travers dance with American Pharoah as we get closer to the end of the show. How about visiting one of our old friends, or in this case, it was one of our old friends coming to us. Funny Cide foaled not too far, as you noted last night, from Saratoga Racecourse in town today, and it was great seeing the 2003 3-year-old champion.
It really was great seeing him, and he looks terrific. I mean, he's put on weight since he ran. I actually sent out a tweet saying that we've both put on a little weight since the last time I saw him, and I was lucky enough to be one of his riders and win some stakes on him. Just a terrific, charismatic horse as well.
But Jack Knowlton, the managing partner of Saratoga, has not aged a day in the last 12 years, and here he is with the Mig.
Jack, it's been a long time since that magical ride with Funny Cide, winning the Derby, the Preakness. What's it like having him back here in Saratoga?
Well, it's wonderful to have him come back home. You know, he's the Saratoga horse, the New York horse. You were one of the few guys lucky enough to ride him in your career, and you know what it was like. I mean, he's certainly a true champion, and it's great to have him back here. I mean, certainly this is a weekend that will go down in history in Saratoga, having AP here. But Funny Cide's got a following. People are happy to see him, and we're just thrilled to get him back. And, you know, thanks to Tex Sutton to let him get on the plane with Pharoah and, you know, Naira and the Thoroughbred Breeders, everybody collaborating to make this happen.
Do you think he gave American Pharoah any advice about Saratoga on the plane?
Well, I don't know. You know, I said I'd love if that pony could talk to tell us what the two of them were talking about on that flight. I think that would have been pretty cool.
He looks sensational. He really couldn't look any better.
Well, Kentucky Horse Park, Ronan Cunningham and Wes, I mean, they do just a fabulous job with him down there. They have horse nutritionists. They have, you know, vets. They have farriers, masseuses. I mean, anything that a horse could need, they've got, and they do just a spectacular job with him. We just signed an additional 5-year agreement. He's going to be at the horse park, and we're just thrilled to have him there.
Well, thank you for bringing him back here and sharing him with all the fans.
Well, we're happy to have him here, and happy that the fans get a chance to see their hometown hero.
Pretty cool, the gutsy gelding, and reunited with Barclay Tagg, Jack Knowlton, Robin Smolin. Doesn't seem that long ago. I mean, it's scary when you think about it, but it really doesn't feel that long ago. He was pitted against his arch rival Empire Maker in that unforgettable 2003 Triple Crown Series.
It really was. And you know what he brought to the table? Now, obviously, Empire Maker had a foot issue heading into the Derby. But what he brought to the table, Funny Cide, was a toughness, a grittiness that boded well for him in a 20-horse field in the Kentucky Derby. He was the kind of horse that you could aim him at a brick wall, and if he couldn't jump it, he'd run through it.
Yeah, no kidding. And I do find in some sort of goofy, quirky racetrack way, it's kind of funny you've got a grandson of Empire Maker in the form of American Pharoah who was on the plane with Funny Cide, because that was a Triple Crown, not to spend too much time on it. You had the real privileged sort of prep school kid, if you will, an Empire Maker, the blue blood Juddmonte homebred, against the kid from the other side of the tracks whose owners were going to the Triple Crown races in a rented yellow school bus.
Well, don't you think that's the beauty of the sport, is that a good horse can come from anywhere, and people can could basically go through any class in life. You could dine with kings or have a cup of coffee with a groom and get just as much out of either conversation. The racetrack is the great equalizer.
It's a wide swath of humanity, a great cross-section of life. We're happy to be here, and I'm sure the breeders in Kentucky will be happy to get Powis Mowis, who accomplished quite a bit on the racetrack during his illustrious career. One of just a few horses to win the very rare Belmont Park or Belmont Stakes Metropolitan Handicap Double as a 5-year-old. However, they tried to bring him back. He just wasn't the same.
Yeah, a valiant effort to get him back, and he just wasn't being able to get back to the same health, the same form, and they're doing the right thing. This horse owes nobody nothing. They gave it a good try, and Powis Mowis, with that resume, a Belmont Stakes winner, speaks of stamina. A Met Mile winner speaks of brilliance. He should be a pretty fashionable sire starting out.
And he'll be in that 2016 freshman class, at least kicking off their breeding careers, most likely with the Triple Crown winner, American Pharoah, who we learn a bit more about where his sort of fairy tale ending ends, at least a little bit here on Saturday, a new chapter. Let's move on to the action on a day number 30. It was a gorgeous Thursday, in fact, and a real splash and touch of September in the air. Low 70s, a nice breeze, a good crowd, and here we go with track announcer Larry Colmus in the Risk-Averse.
Reina de Batteria started well, but Grey Walls will take the lead. And Grey Walls is joined by Lolabo to set the pace. And then it's Stormy Regatta, who came out running in third position. Bugle to the inside is fourth as they move into that turn. These two go a little bit wide into that turn, and saving all the ground is Partisan Politics. And then it's My Caramia, All in Fun, and Reina de Batteria taken to the back of the field after coming out of the gate well. So they go on to the backstretch in 24 3/5 seconds, and Grey Walls is the leader by 2. Bugle is second to the outside. Lolabo is down toward the rail. After that, it's Stormy Regatta in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Partisan Politics in fifth. Then My Caramia, All in Fun, and Reina de Batteria trails the field with 9 lengths to make up in the run up the backstretch. And it's Grey Walls and Eric Consell in front. They went 49-1 for the half mile. They lead it by 1.5 lengths over Bugle, and Lolabo to the inside as the field races for the turn. And then it's Stormy Regatta fourth and on the move now. And Stormy Regatta is coming 3 wide, but picking up stride midway on the far turn. Partisan Politics all in front. Reina de Batteria and My Caramia at the back of the field. It's wide open, and they're all in pursuit of Grey Walls, who turns for home in front in the Risk-Averse. Bugle moves on the outside, and Lolabo is trying to close to an opening at the rail. Farther out comes Stormy Regatta, who's closing in. So too Partisan Politics all in fun. And to the outside, My Caramia, then Reina de Batteria, and they're coming into the final 16th, a driving finish here, and it's going to be very close on the wire. I think it was Stormy Regatta in a photo with Partisan Politics, and then it was Lolabo.
You guessed right, Larry Colmus. In fact, I'm sure you never doubted yourself. Noses up and down, Partisan Politics in the red cap, but Stormy Regatta, up from Jersey, refused to lose.
Refused to lose, squeezed through some tight quarters, had a little bit of trouble on the first turn. Very resolute. Jason, did it feel like Partisan Politics got there and maybe hung a step?
She hung like a chandelier. Tough photo loss for the Klarovich folks and Bill Lawrence. They're one behind Michael Dubb, but for Christophe Comont, the bounces continue, and here he is with the MIG.
Christophe, you had to be very happy with the trip that Stormy Regatta was able to work out.
When they win, you're always very happy with the trip. Actually, I thought the race was a bit rough on her. You know, one horse blew the turn going to the first turn and pushed her out. But Aval got her back in a great position, moved a bit early, which she likes. She's a bit of a grinder, and she was very game in the stretch. It was tight, but we got lucky, and it's great when it works out.
Well, she was very brave to come through between horses that way, but it seems to me that this filly likes a fight. She's never run a bad race on the turf and always wins the close ones.
You know, she's trained well from the beginning. She seems to be improving all the time, which is great. And you know, let's just enjoy this at the moment. She was a private acquisition for Mr. Dobson, who's been a very loyal supporter to the stable, so I'm absolutely delighted for all of us.
You have to be very pleased with the way the meet's going. All your horses are running well.
Yes, no, they've been running well, but you know, I'm a horse trainer, so you always want more, by definition.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Solely in third, 13 wins and counting at the meet for Christophe Comont, who's had a great year and playing around with some lifetime stats. He's in the top 20 regarding trainers dating back to 1976, regarding number of wins at Saratoga, 125 and counting for Christophe.
That's a big number. You know, for a trainer doesn't get as many opportunities as a jockey. 125 wins at the Spa. And I've always said winning 1 in Saratoga is like winning 2 or 3 anywhere else. Think about that.
He's a household name now, though. I eventually think he'll be a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Christophe Comont not done accomplishing things in this great sport of thoroughbred racing, and we're not done. How does that sound? On this Thursday edition of Saratoga Insider, we've got some turf, dirt, and a pick 6 coming your way.
Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
Paddock is quiet now, but it'll be crowded here tomorrow afternoon. We run 11 on day number 31, Travers Eve, New York Bred Showcase Day. Gates open up for the Breakfast with American Pharoah at 7 a.m., and breakfast, in fact, begins at 7:30 a.m. out on the porch. And looking ahead, do that homework, do your homework, and study up for the $400,000 guaranteed pick 5 that begins at 11:45. Pretty much an all grade 1 pick 6 on Saturday. That'll kick off with the personal ensign in race 6, and it all culminates into the $1 million guarantee in the pick 4, and that will again culminate into the 146th running of the Travers and American Pharoah. You would think Mr. Mig will be a single on many, many, many tickets.
Yeah, I believe so. And listen, I understand a lot of handicappers will try to beat him because that's how you're going to make money. You're not going to make money betting on American Pharoah. I personally think he's going to have to get very unlucky to lose. And I'm going to be interested to see him train tomorrow morning. He'll be out on the main track. I'll be here early, make my quick stop at the Spring Street Deli for a quick breakfast sandwich and a coffee. I'll be here by about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And if you can't make it to Saratoga tomorrow morning for the training action of the Travers contenders at 8:45, it'll be streaming live on NYRA.com. Check it out. Multiple camera angles. Really neat stuff over at NYRA.com, your one-stop shopping. Let's move on to race number 6 as we get you back to the action on this Thursday afternoon. Larry Colmus takes us through, and we'll kick off the Grand Slam for Luis Granderson.
They're off. And it's Plainview who comes out running on the lead. Mr. Online away second. He's in front next on the outside of them. And it's 3 lengths more back to slip by Unbridled Ocean. And Slim Shady is at the back of the pack as Plainview leads them early. Plainview heading into the clubhouse turn in front. And Mr. Online is a length and a half back running in second into the turn. And then it's He's in front and he's in third on that first turn. Racing 4 lengths off the lead. Slim Shady's alongside. And then come the trailers slip by an Unbridled Ocean. 25 seconds flat. The initial quarter mile as they move up the backstretch. And Plainview and Jose Lezcano up top. Pressed on the outside by Mr. Online, and these two 3/4 of a length apart. And then it's Slim Shady on the outside of He's in front, who's down toward the rail. Then slip by an Unbridled Ocean, last of them all, and 7 lengths off of Plainview, who's gone a half mile in 49 2/5 seconds. Plainview on top all the way so far. And Mr. Online has been second throughout. And then Slim Shady, who's third and progressing toward the leaders as they move into the far turn. He's in front is next, and then it's slipped by an Unbridled Ocean. Still Plainview in front. Mr. Online edging up alongside Slim Shady third. He's in front fourth, and they're into the stretch. Plainview, Mr. Online to the outside. These two with Slim Shady trying to come and get them. Plainview, Mr. Online, Slim Shady closing in, and from dead last, Unbridled Ocean is finishing fast on the far outside. Unbridled Ocean coming up to the leaders. Mr. Online, Unbridled Ocean on the far outside, up in time. And then it was a photo between Mr. Online and Slim Shady and Plainview.
Another blanket finish. Larry Colmus sounding sharp upstairs in the booth. And he had a pickup on Bottled Ocean with that clear late run in deep stretch.
Unbridled Ocean getting a little class relief in for 80,000 today. But I think this is what this horse wants. Makes the last move in the clear on the outside. He's had so many compromised trips, Jason, where he kind of gets bottled up. I mean, I go back to his Fort Marcy, where he only got beat 4 lengths. He basically never got a chance to run. Well, the Hall of Famer, Johnny Velasquez, gets him in the clear and rolls down the middle of the course.
Noses up and down over the finish line. The Hall of Fame conditioner, Bill Mott, however, managed to run first and second in that tight photo on Bottled Ocean over the 6 Mr. Online, and the hard-hitting Plainview was right there. Let's fast forward. Race number 9. As we get you back to the turf once again. 5.5 on the melon, to be precise. We've got an allowance race. These are 3 and up, and we'll go back to Larry.
They're off. Asset Inflation up and after the early lead. Glowing Ember came out running in second. Captain Raymond is away third. Decent is fourth. Natural Order. And then it's back to the Big Deluxe and Big Family at the back of the pack as the field races for the turn. Glowing Ember and Asset Inflation. And these two vie for the lead. And it will be Asset Inflation to take over as Glowing Ember is taken back off the pace in second. Then comes Captain Raymond on the outside. They went 21 and 4 for the opening quarter mile. And now Captain Raymond is up into second. Back into third is Glowing Ember on the inside as they round the far turn. And now moving on the far outside is Decent. And Decent is coming up to the front runners now at the top of the stretch. Asset Inflation in front. Decent has moved up into second on the outside. And then comes Captain Raymond in between horses. Gaining ground to the Big Deluxe and Big Family, and they're both coming. And they're coming to get Decent. It is Decent, the Big Deluxe and Big Family, the Big Deluxe and Decent. These 3 coming down to the line together. Their heads are bobbing to the finish. And it looked like Big Family. Right on the wire with the Big Deluxe.
Tightly contested, 1,100 feet off the quarter pole. In display once again. Another photo on tonight's show. Big Family. Eric Consell gets his second on the day.
Yeah, Eric Consell comes from a race riding family. Both his parents were jockeys, and it's appropriate that he wins too. As an article came out in the New York Times about Eric Consell and his endeavors as an apprentice jockey in New York, and you know, he makes a really nice impression. Eric, he's got the jockey build. He was made to be a rider. He was raised to be a rider, and he's respectful. He understands he's got things to learn, and he listens to the older riders, and he has some great guys to turn to in there, like Johnny Velasquez and Javier Castellano, amongst others.
And even Angel Cordero Jr., the mighty Hall of Famer, who's got Eric Consell's book. But you need a bit of humility, and you've got to be mature enough on a circuit. You're riding in the prime time. You're a young kid. You're making good money. I think a lot of youngsters, and this is even speaking if I was a jockey going back 20 years ago when I was in my late teens, you probably think you got the world figured out.
But it's an interesting thing. You got to find a balance because a jockey needs a little bit of swagger. You don't want a jockey that's not a little bit cocky or a little bit confident, but you also need him to be grounded and understand that he's got to keep working, keep learning, keep improving.
Let's see Eric Consell's other win today, including everything else that happened on the program just about on day number 30. 2, 3, 4, 7, and 10. Here's Larry.
It is Tialana who will turn for home in front. A 47 flat half mile. They're into the stretch. Tialana coming to the 8th pole. And on the outside is Done Listening. And from far behind, Roman Rain is gaining ground on the far outside while Samus is coming through at the fence. It is Tialana Done Listening. On the outside, Roman Rain and Samus down toward the inside. Here's Roman Rain on the far outside. Roman Rain bobbing heads. Roman Rain got there over Done Listening. And then it was Tialana and Samus. Forest, and they're into the stretch. Call Me Stony. Call Me Stony turns for home on the lead. Apache Warrior back into second on the outside. My Tommy Boy is coming through an opening in between horses, but still has to come and get Call Me Stony. Now My Tommy Boy goes to the inside. Apache Warrior is there to the outside as they come down to the line. Call Me Stony has the lead. Call Me Stony to win it over Apache Warrior, My Tommy Boy, and Norm the Giant was fourth. Women Win in front, a 44 and 4/2 mile as Women Win comes into the final furlong with a 5-length lead. And Kelly-esque is second, and then comes Stone Supplier on the inside, followed by Royalton. Women Win has just run away from the competition here. Women Win coming under the line all alone in front. The race is for second, and it's dead tight between Stone Supplier and Royalton. And they're into the stretch. Cool Comfort is the leader. On the outside, Kitty's Pearl. Cool Comfort and Kitty's Pearl 1-2. And here comes Dot Product. And here comes No Tunes. And they're both closing on the far outside. Dot Product and No Tunes coming up to Cool Comfort. Here's No Tunes. Dot Product, Cool Comfort. Late move, Rachel's Temper. It's going to be a photo finish. It is close on the wire. It looked like Dot Product got No Tunes on the button. And Leo's Legacy at the back at a 45 and 1/2 mile. They're into the stretch. And Spartan Emperor trying to keep on going here. Dusk to Dawn's alongside. And Proletariat is coming up after the lead now. And here's Proletariat to the front. Rich DeLone is also finishing well with 100% on the outside. Proletariat's got it close to home. Proletariat and Luis Saez to win it. Rich DeLone was second, and then came 100% and Spartan Emperor.
Man, we got through that pretty quick today, that's for sure. Nobody alive in the pick six. In fact, if someone could pass me the carryover number, that would be greatly appreciated, as we do have a pick six carryover on New York Bred Showcase Day. 11 races, 46,000. Study up the multi-race guarantees on Travers Day. And what do you say, Mig? Let's take a step back once again on today's card. In fact, race number 4. It looked like a fairly contentious maiden special weight on paper. It turned into basically a walkover with Women Win, and boy, did she ever do it.
Well, she buried this group. And, you know, I always like taking a second look back at a horse bred and owned by Barry Schwartz, trained by Michael Hush, and she ran big. Jose Ortiz maybe overrode her a little bit. He got into her a little harder than he probably needed to. Sometimes riders get lost. They're on the lead. They're the hunted one, not the hunter, and they don't have rear view mirrors, but he might have overdone it just a bit. But nice to see them in the winner's circle, and you know I'm a Michael Hushin fan.
And so. Jose picked up a win. We're all Mike Hushin fans. Guy's just top class. He's among those top 20 lifetime trainers at Saratoga regarding wins dating back to 1976. Rider standings, Irad Ortiz, first jock this year to hit 50. His personal best at Saratoga last summer at 53.
Well, barring anything unforeseen, Irad Ortiz is going to shatter that. I mean, he's got 13 win lead with 10 racing days left, and honestly, the way he's riding, I think he deserves to be lead rider.
Yeah, Javier Castellano, your defending winner, in a bit of a slump for Javier standards. We'll see if he can turn it around tomorrow afternoon. Chad Brown had that tough loss with partisan politics in today's Risk Averse. It's been a quiet couple weeks for Todd Pletcher. Christophe Camont walked away with the victory. Jeremiah Engelhardt, 7 wins and counting. He's 8th in the standings, and things have really tightened up, at least towards the top of the pack, in front of the pack, making the owner standings.
And Michael Dove, the man for all seasons, the Generazio family. They breed, own, and race their own. You gotta like that.
And we gotta like that David Jacobson will throw around some serious cash in the claim box. And Brattled Ocean, your winner of today's 6th race on the outside, 80 G's.
80,000. Going back years ago, I think King Swan was claimed for 75.
Wow.
Look what he went on to do with Dick Dutrow at the helm. And Jacobson, yeah, he's not afraid to pull out the wallet.
Salute those amigos, stall walking dude. He's got room for me in the ballerina. And we have got the remainder of our show coming up. Let's break it down. Saratoga tomorrow morning. Gates open up for the breakfast at 7 a.m. The breakfast, in fact, on the porch begins at 7:30 a.m. The Travers contenders have their designated time slot, including American Pharoah, at 8:45 a.m. We'll be streaming it live over at NYRA.com. Should be a Friday morning to remember, Mig, and you'll have a front side seat to it all.
Yeah, I'll be out there. I'm looking to talk to some fans. Let's get in their head. Why are they out early in the morning?
It'll be for American Pharoah. I remember coming out watching Cigar in the summer of '96, as we have a likable crew ready to battle in tomorrow's featured West Point King Crease on the quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, but yeah, how could you pass up 150,000 against State Breds? He looks like he could be loose on the lead again, and I'll never count out King Creasa.
Lubash and Carafa, though, 2 toughies. They have squared off, knocked heads, along with King Creasa so many times. This is just an outstanding division of horses.
Lubash is in raging form. Credit to Christophe Camont, 8-year-old Freud horse, and he can do anything. He can lay up close. He can be a little further back. I think he's going to be perfectly positioned. Carafa, always tough, but not such a good record in Saratoga.
Only jockey to win 2 today, Eric Consell, will try his hand in the West Point with the Reno, who's posted well for Jimmy Bond off a tough loss against Plainview.
You know, it's always a sign of confidence from a trainer when they put an apprentice on in a stake race. They don't get the advantage of the weight allowance there, so he's saying, you know what, I'll take my boy at equal weights because I think he can ride a Reno. He's going to have to step his game up a little bit to handle some of these classy veterans.
And a fan favorite on the weekend, we have a Triple Crown champion, not a Capital Llama. We'll try to turn things around. He's got the inside post. Can you ever count out Pletcher and Johnny?
No, you can't. Not a cat but a llama. I mean, he tries. He hasn't been able to really compete this year with the likes of King Creesa, Lubash, Carafa, but he's got a good inside post. You know, Johnny's going to get his position going forward. And no, I never count out Johnny Velasquez, Hall of Famer, Todd Pletcher, future Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
At that, we've got a couple of top-class contenders joining us right now, and Andy and Maggie with Friday's Plays.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, it is a New York bred showcase on Friday here at Saratoga, and I'm going to pick a New York bred in the car. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, I think the Albany, the 10th race, is a very interesting race. One of the reasons I think it's interesting is I think the favorites are pretty vulnerable in here. Now, looking at the horses that come out of the New York Derby, I actually like the one that finished the worst. That's the one, Good Luck Gus. But I don't want anybody from that race. I don't want anybody from the one-side Bellamy Way race, though I think one side is very dangerous in here. I want Fleeting, the 6-horse. Fleeting got a very useful prep, off a little bit of a layoff against tougher horses on opening day here. I think he ran fine and ran well enough to be a contender here. I've always liked Fleeting. I don't think he meets any killers, and more importantly, he figures to be double-digit odds. That's good enough for me in the Albany. Number 6, Fleeting.
Thanks, Andy. And the New York Reds are on showcase tomorrow, to say the least. We also have a lot of 2-year-old races for the state breds, which always gets me a bit excited heading into the Friday card. I'm going to take a look at the 5.5 turf sprint, and it will go as race number 8 in here. And the outside horse is number 10, Go Go Lucky, for the white hot Christophe Clement. And Christophe is having one heck of a meet for himself, and I like what he's done with his 2-year-olds thus far. And Go Go Lucky debuted on a sloppy sealed track and had the feeling that he would prefer the turf. Now, some people will debate with me that Roaring Fever is a negative turf influence, but I've actually seen some that can run on it. And 2, this Dam won twice on the turf as well. And I had written down, quote unquote, turf might be better. So that's why I'm going with Go Go Lucky in tomorrow's 8th. Guys, back to you.
He'll go on the turf, and that horse will definitely go in Saturday's Midsummer Derby. Training 8:45 a.m. Be here or be square. Naira.com for the live Friday morning stream. That'll do it for the Mig and myself. We'll see you tomorrow night, Travers Eve, right here on Saratoga Insider.